problem here.
Share screen, can I?
Just try, I guess, yes.
Share screen. Just give me the option, so.
Mm-hmm.
Good wait, cat. Okay, cool. So, great. Yeah, how are you? You had a good week?
Yes, I have a good week. Yesterday I spent time with my friends. We were talking during all nights, and it, so I didn't go to school 2 days. And I prepared. I was preparing to my exams. Hello.
I see. Well, I had a very interesting week. You remember I said to you there's lots of things I get bonuses for being in Russia. Well, we had a new one the other day. What are you doing? You don't want to make your mind up.
Mom thinks so.
Yeah, but you're hitting out like a balloon fly. Trying to talk. Okay, so me and my wife were in the five shop the other day. Don't ask what it's called, I call it a five shop. And this police officer came up to me and he went, mask. So assuming he said, put your mask on. And he took my picture. Okay, no, not you, I'm talking to the lady. So yeah, then the police officers went up to my wife and they took her picture and they started speaking to her. They told her to put a mask on and they told her to go with them. And she was like, really? Like, in a strange way, like, how exciting, like, this never happened to me before. Like, wow, cool. So anyway, she had to explain to me what was going on because I had no idea. And she said, the police want me to go with them and explain what's going on. And then the police officers realized that I don't speak Russian and I was a foreigner. So they started asking her, they said, wait, is that your husband? Yeah. And where's he from? England. And they asked to see my passport. They looked at my passport and they're like, okay, have a good evening, goodbye. And I'm like, didn't you want to take us away? So, yeah, basically they wanted to take my wife away and they realized she was with me. They couldn't be bothered. So my wife finds that hilarious. So basically I've had free taxi rides, I get special treatment, I get more discounts, I get front row, I get put in the front queues, and now I get away with crimes. That's 7,000 rubles. Fine, apparently. So that was my week. That was funny. Понятно?
Yes.
Okay then. So today we're going to do more medical stuff. Now, last lesson we discussed injuries, if memory serves. We were discussing like what injuries we've had, how it affected our bodies, and blah 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 blah. Right? Okay. So today I'm going to do a bit more reading, and we're going to discuss some more vocabulary, basically. Just want to see if you know the words. Okay. So first of all, we have an interesting text to read. Or rather, you have an interesting text to read. Yeah. Okay, so a life without pain. Can you see the screen?
Yes.
What does that tell you? What do you think that means? A life without pain.
Mm. Mhm. Maybe this text about mm, how people can protect yourself from pain or injuries.
Maybe. But the word without, that's a life without pain. So that means no pain. So possibly, possible. Okay. Don't bother that. Okay. So here we go. So here's we're getting rid of text now. Actually, no, before that. All right. Let's talk about pain first. Is pain a good thing or a bad thing? Real bad.
If if it's physical, it is physical pain. Then it is bad. And if the pain is mental, it can it sometimes can bring more positive effects.
As
What?
like what? How can it be bring positive?
As for me, I stopped perceive something I don't experience something bad feelings.
You don't experience bad feelings.
Yeah, yes. And it feels up to change my my perception.
What? So you don't experience psychological pain, but you think it's a useful thing. But physical pain is not good at all, anyway. Okay. I don't know if it's good or bad that you don't feel any pain, because everybody does. People lose relatives, or we lose our pets, or something. We lose our boyfriends or girlfriends. That's all pain. Now, typically, you're right with the psychological pain. People who feel psychological problems, it makes us stronger. Generally, we learn. It makes you stronger. So that there is a logic to that. One of the reasons I'm the way I am is because I've had lots of bad experiences in my life, but I've learned from all that. So we all have bad things in our life, but it makes us stronger. Unfortunately, you're wrong about physical pain, because the same logic, the psychological pain, is good from physical pain. We would all like to not feel pain, but the problem is, if we don't feel pain, how will we learn? Think about it as a kid. How would you learn what to do and what not to do?
I'm not understand certain words.
But you said pain is good psychologically, right?
Yes.
But the same logic that applies to that applies to physical pain. So basically, when you're a baby and you grow up, how do you learn not to do things? What is bad? What not to do? How do we know what tells us not to jump from a very big height?
People make mistakes and feel psychological pain. It's learn them
Alarms us.
learns us. Yes.
Can you see the text? Can you see the chat that Katia is writing? There's the answer right there. See, as a child, what teaches us not to jump from a big height is the fear of hurting ourselves, which you do. And from banging your hand to anything, we learn lessons in life through pain. And pain is fear, and fear keeps us safe, basically. So we need this fear to keep us safe.
Yes.
Probably more so than psychological pain, actually. Actually, no, they're probably the same, basically. So they're just as important. But either way, we need pain. Pain stops us from doing dangerous things. So now we're going to read, well, you're going to read the text. Section about a life about pain. Remember, if you don't know a word, write it down and check. Don't just assume, okay? There should be some vocabulary here you don't know. Okay then, begin.
All children hurt themselves from time to time, but when 13 years old, Ashlyn Walker was younger. She had more accidents and injuries than her friends. For example, she once put her hands on a very hot engine and got a serious burn. She only knew about it when she looked at her skin. She showed her parents and they took her straight to hospital. Ashlyn simply did not know when she injured herself.
Okay, pause it there. So, you understand?
Yes, engine. What is that?
Engine is a term for a machine that drives things like your car, your mum's car, or dad's car. The car has what's called an engine. That's what makes it move. Vroom, vroom, vroom. And they get very, 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 very hot. So, so yeah, anything hot codes, same thing. That's why we feel things. We learn things that hot codes. It causes discomfort or pain, which protects us. So yeah, okay.
When Ashlyn was a baby, her parents knew she was different. She didn't cry. Then, when she was 8 months old, they noted there was some blood in her eye, so they took her to see a doctor. The doctor was shocked and confused when he looked at Ashlyn's eye. There was a serious cut. So why wasn't the baby girl upset? Why didn't she cry? The eye injury soon got better, but doctors realized that Ashlyn had a very unusual medical condition. She couldn't feel any pain. I understand. Yes.
Are you sure? Shocked and confused?
Yes, I understand.
Serious cut. Serious and cut, rather. Do you know these two words?
Yeah, it means that she has many injuries in your eyes.
Not many. It's not about the amount. Serious is like how important something is. So if you cut yourself, it's like minor, it's nothing. If you do a really, really deep cut, it's serious, it's life-threatening. And a cut is, yeah, cut like. So, speaking of burns, I have one here. I caught it on the cooker. You can't see it very well in this light. Caught it on the cooker the other day, on Thursday. The violent baby girl upset. Why didn't she cry? The eye injury soon got better. The doctors realized? This word?
Yes. It means understand.
Okay, just checking. And condition.
I understand, but I didn't know what it explained.
I'll just explain anyway. Condition is used a lot. It explains the condition of something or someone. Like a car. A car can be in good condition or bad condition. If it's rusted full of holes, it's bad. So same with people. People have conditions, a medical term. like somebody who's pregnant, you can, in their condition, they're pregnant. They've got to be careful with things. And other people have medical conditions that help them, stop them walking, stop them seeing. It's all called a condition. So, okay, C.
This condition is very rare. Only about 100 people a year in the USA are born with it, and many of them die because of it. Pain is a natural warning. When you're ill or injured, your body hurts, and this tells you there's a problem. People who can't feel pain often die young, because when they break a bone or have a problem with their heart, they just don't realize.
Yeah. And then,
yes. Rare.
rare. Ooh.
Rare.
Rare is something that is very, very hard to see, or you don't see very often. So thank you. It's a good word. It's a good word to use. Like rare gems or rare foods or something. So it's a good word. The right situation is important. Yeah, it's a very rare disease. Think how many millions of people there are in America. So how many of these people are having babies every year? The answer is probably millions. Well, maybe not millions, but a lot, a huge amount of people are born every year, and only 10 have this disease on average. That's a very small number. So, and they, yeah. Any other words?
No.
Okay, very good. So yeah, like I say, for me and you to not feel pain, that'd be so cool. But to other people who don't experience pain, like I said, they die, it kills them because they have no fear. They don't understand what danger or what's going to harm them. You see? We can't even imagine that, because to us it's just the thought of like running out in front of a car. To me and you is like no, but to somebody who fears no pain, has no fear, they have no idea. So many of them die because of it. Pain is actual warning. You've been injured, your body hurts and takes a problem. People who can't feel pain, but yeah, blah 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 blah. Okay, D.
The first few years of Ashlyn's life were very difficult. She often tripped and injured herself.
Tripped. High pitched tripped.
Once she broke her ankle and didn't know, so she didn't stop running. At school, Ashlyn needed a lot of attention to keep her safe. For example, in the playground, one teacher watched Ashlyn all the time. When other children fell over, the teachers could ask, "Does it hurt?" But of course, with Ashlyn, it was not so simple, and the teachers had to search for cuts, these words, bruises, for the insurers.
Okay, you understand?
Yes.
You sure understanding these words? So the first few years of Ashlyn's life was very difficult. She often tripped and injured herself. So tripped, where you fall over like trip over a stone, or woo, not to get mixed up with trip, like road trip or weekend trip. to Kazan or whatever. So yeah, it's the same sound, but using different situation. Понятно?
Yes.
Okay. Tripped and injured herself. Once she broke her ankle. Ankle?
It's
We're going to cover this in a minute. Body parts. So after this lesson. So okay, just a reference. Your ankle is this here, this bone here. This you got your foot. You got this hard bone here. It sticks out where your foot joins your leg. That's your ankle, and it's a very, very important because that supports your entire body weight. Understand?
yes.
So she tripped. She broke her ankle and carried on running. That is just you can imagine how bad the damage was. When she broke her ankle and didn't know, she didn't stop running. She carried on running with a broken ankle. Oh, most of us would run and go and go ah. So that probably done some serious damage to her ankle, and it probably never recovered properly. Once she at school actually needed a lot of attention. Attention?
I understand.
Okay. To keep her safe. For example, in the playground, one teacher watched Ashlyn all the time. When other children fell over, the teachers could ask, "Does it hurt?" But of course, with Ashlyn, it was not that simple. And the teachers had to search for cuts and bruises. Bruises?
It's spots in the in the body.
Parts of the body.
Parts of the body.
What exactly is a bruise? There you go. It's important to learn these because if you're in a foreign country, maybe you go on a skiing trip and you injure yourself and you go to hospital, you need to understand the basics in medical vocabulary. That's why we're doing this. So you don't have to be a doctor level, but everybody understands, like they need to know, does it hurt here? Does it hurt there? And blah, 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 blah. So we're going to cover all of this. Yeah, basically bruises are where your skin has an impact. It goes black, brown, purple. All right, that's a bruise where the skin is crushed. So our injuries. Okay, last section.
When she was 5, Ashlyn's story appeared in newspapers. Then she had invitations to appear on TV shows and became well known. Scientists studied the causes of her condition and found it was a genetic disorder. For some reason, pain signals do not reach her brain. Unfortunately, at the moment, there is no hope of a cure. And as Ashlyn knows, a life without pain is both difficult and dangerous. Invitations and disorder.
Invitation. Invitation is what you give somebody, like when you have it's your birthday. You have a birthday party. So you want to invite your friends to your party. The only people that have an invitation come. So it's from their end. So they have an invitation. You invited them. So So in this case here, she had invitations, basically saying, "Come on our Saturday night show at 9:30 and discuss stuff." To hopefully catch up, put it down. Invitations to appear on a TV show and become well-known. Scientists study the causes. Causes?
Yes.
Okay. Condition, and that felt like a brain genetic disorder. Genetic?
Yes. It's difficult to explain.
DNA, basically. That's a quick way of explaining it. You're born with it. It's part of your DNA. How your body was built. Like everything in life, most people are born normally. Some people have no hands, no fingers, blind. Something goes wrong sometimes. In this case here, it's internal. So she was born without her brain doesn't receive pain. That's good to be you, but anyone else, to a kid, terrible. Because at our age, we know what harms us. So for some reason, signals.
Signals. It's yeah. It warns us to warns us about something.
Yeah, that's correct. So it can be a signal light in your car or a signal in your brain, to which our brain. Unfortunately, at the moment, there is no hope of a cure. And as Ashley knows, life without pain is both difficult and dangerous. Do you understand everything else? All the words? Okay,
Yes.
Good. So yeah, I watched a program about her and a couple of other kids. The same thing, same problem. They're born, no pain. This other girl had no eye, where she crashed into something. So yeah, so pain is very necessary, I'm afraid. Okay, now quick little bit of boring exercise. So accidental injuries first. Burn, cut, hurt. So you know what a burn is now, right?
Burn. I understand.
Okay, a burn is another type of injury. Like I said, I burnt my wrist here. A burn is where something gets very, very, very hot. Your skin gets hot. And it swells up, it goes red, it blisters. So yeah, where your skin is exposed to fire, basically.
Yes.
Fire burns everything. So the word burn is very common. You need to understand it. Like you can burn your food. You're cooking some burgers, you leave them cooking too long, they got burnt. Oh bugger, my dinner's going in the bin.
Yes.
And burns in your body is again very serious and very painful. So when you burn yourself, it typically doesn't hurt straight away. It hurts the next day. It's very important to put it under water, get it cold as quickly as possible. So that's how you deal with a burn. Cut, you know now. Hurt, you know. Fall, tripped, slipped over, brick. Bleed. Do you know what blood and bleeding is?
Mhm.
Yeah, quite obvious. It's easy. Sprain your ankle. Sprain, that's another one. Do you know what a sprain is?
Yeah.
It's another simple, basic medical term. It's nothing serious, but it's very common. A sprain is where you slip on the ice, you fall over, and you put your hands out to stop yourself, and you hurt. You land on your hands, you hurt your wrist, and your wrist hurts. So again, it's not serious, but it hurts for a couple of days, maybe a week. So it's you sprained, in this case, your wrist. You sprained your wrist, or you sprained your ankle. So, and again, if you have an injury, an accident, sorry, and you go to the doctors, they'll need to ask you and test you. They'll push you around and see what happens. And then you find out if you've sprained it, or pulled a muscle, or broken a bone. Because a broken bone is very serious. A sprain is minor. You see the difference?
Yes.
So yeah, that's why we. Oopsie daisy! Oh, monkey's gonna kill me. I just broke his toy. He built a Lego gun, and I just knocked it over. So yeah, bleeding, broken arm, which is a serious injury, finger, etc. Cut, and yeah, sprain. So burn, cut, fell over, hurt, injured. Okay, sprained. Okay, do you know what muscle is? You should know that. What's muscle?
It's thing in our body.
Parts that pull our body. So from here to here, there's a muscle here, which pulls my wrist that way or that way. So these are muscles. But again, if you have an injury, for example, you land like this, you see, you can what's called pull a muscle or pull a tendon to be more accurate. And you can tear the muscle from the bone. So then you can't move your hand down. Again, it's more serious than a sprain, but it's not serious like a broken bone. So it's, yeah. So there's different levels. Oh man, this time's flying by. Okay. Okay. So that covers all that vocabulary, the more basics. So now we're going to go through body parts. You probably know this, but I want to check anyway, okay? So, give me 1 second. There we go. So, give me 1 moment, please. I'll find a page. Where is it? It's not here. Okay, maybe it's here. Can't remember what book it's on. Hello, where are you? Where are you go? No, it's not here apparently. Must be in this book then. Yeah. Yeah, sorry about this. trying to find, there's a page here with body parts, and I find it quite useful for teaching parts of the body. Where is it? Before this. Before this. Where do I all go? Ah, here we go. Nope. Ah, here we go. Yeah, found it. Eventually. So you should know this stuff, but we'll just cover it. Excuse me. We'll just cover it anyway, just in part, in case. Because again, if you go to doctors or whatever, you need to explain what hurts and why. So. So here we have lots of vocabulary. So you should know most of this. Some of this you probably won't know. So parts of the body. Ankle. We did this 5 minutes ago, I should remind you.
It's part of people's life or people's body.
Oh yeah, they're all part of people's body. But where? Is it in the head? Is it in the body? In the leg? In the arm? There's numbers here to help you look.
Find these words in the photo. Yes.
Some of them, yeah.
I don't hear.
What's number one?
Number
Number one. Ankle, sorry.
I don't understand.
Okay, ankle. I explained to you earlier. Remember, I showed you my ankle. You have your foot, okay? Imagine this is my leg. I can't even bother to get my leg up. So you have your foot, and you have your leg. In this case, it's my hand. And there's a join. There's a part here which joins the two together. You see, it allows full movement. That is your ankle.
Ankle — это лодыжка.
Я поняла, я не могу это объяснить.
Very important because that takes all the stress of your body. It's very, very, not important, but like vulnerable parts. So that's ankles. So you have your foot, your ankle. Blood, so cross that out. Bottom. This is kind of hard to explain if you don't know. What's your bottom? Or do you know what bottom is actually first?
I know only bottom of the sea.
Yeah. So you have top and bottom. But the word bottom is used in our body as well. It's a polite word used in another part to say another thing. Okay, your bottom is what you sit on. Those two cheeks. So basically your bum, it's called. Bum's a bit of a, not an impolite word, but not a very good word. So people say bottom. Does your bottom hurt? Rather than does your bum hurt? Понятно?
Yes.
The thing that boys like to slap. So So brain. What's a
Uh,
brain? You should know that.
this.
Brain. Calf.
I don't know.
Calf is not so important, but when you have the leg, there's different parts. So the calf is basically number 3. So your leg is split into 2 parts. There's your leg. You have the front section and the back. This fatty bit, the fatty bit here. That is your calf. But that's not a really important word to learn, so I won't worry too much about it. So you can just say the back of your leg, well, but yeah, technically it's called a calf. And the calf is also a name of a baby cow. When you know?
Mhm.
I should be telling you that, but it's overloading, but just in case. Okay, cheek. What's a cheek?
This situated, dislocate in face.
Just point to it. What's a cheek? Yes, you have 2 parts of your body. It's called a cheek. You have cheeks, these things here, cheeky, 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 and your bum cheeks. They're also called cheeks. Forgive my example, okay? But it's, yeah, like I said, you can. People like to slap a bum cheek. So forgive the example, but it's a good example. So yeah, you have 2 cheeks, but most commonly when somebody says cheek, they mean your face, okay? And yes, you have cheek, cheeky, cheeky. Somebody is cheeky. So when somebody asks you for when somebody asks for cigarettes, that's fine. Then they ask for 2 or 3, that's cheeky. So yeah, cheek, chin, choi chu tong.
I know these words.
You should do.
I forget. I remember.
Point to it then. Yes, chin, right there. That's your chin. There's a poem, or not poem, I remember, like, songs can help you remember these things. Something chinny chin chin. So, eyebrow. Oh, it fell off the chair. It fell. So, you should know what an eyebrow is. You're a girl. I'll put it back together in a minute. So, eyebrow.
It's that?
Nope.
No.
That's a good word. No, eyebrow. Oh, hang on. No, my bad. Yes, elbow. I was looking at the wrong thing. Elbow. Yes, you're right. There, where it joins elbow. I thought eyebrow. Yeah, eyebrow is the next one. My bad.
Eyebrow.
This one you should know being a woman. Da, eyebrow. Girls like to tidy up their eyebrows. Eyelid.
I don't know.
Okay, think about it. The word eye. You know what an eye is? So your eyelid. Do you know what a lid is? And the lid is the top of something. Like you have a jam jar, it has a lid, you take the lid off. It's the cover for something, basically. So in this case here, your eyelid is the cover for your eye, this thing. No?
Yes.
So you remember that, because you also remember the term of anything like, can you pass me the lid of the sauce? Or can you take the lid off the sauce? No? So the word lid is used on many, many things in the world. Yeah, eyelids. Forehead. This is something Russians get mixed up. Or seem to struggle with, actually. Part of the head, yes. This spot here. This is your forehead. Fore, which means like Ford. No, Navy term for Ford. Forehead. The front part of your head, forehead.
Oh, it's cool. Head.
Heart, you know that. A baby knows heart. Heel.
No, I don't know.
Okay. This is technicalities. The heel is actually, you know, you have your foot. Again, my hand's my foot because I'm too lazy to get my foot up in the air. So this is your foot. And heel is this part here. You see? The base. So, for example, women wear high-heeled shoes, which means they wear shoes that make them taller. Whatever. So remember high-heeled shoes, and then you understand bottom of the foot. So yeah, that's heel. Basically the bottom. Hip. What's a hip?
I don't know.
It's a part of leg.
Yeah, which part? Okay, cool. Do you know which part it is? Do you know what it is? You just don't know how to explain? Okay, running out of time, so I'm gonna we'll do it quickly. So hip is part of your leg, yes, this part here. You have this bone that sticks out the side, which allows movement for your legs. So that's your hip. And it's a common bone because like when you fall over in the ice, you slip, you bang your hip. It's the first thing that gets whacked when you fall sideways. So remember I told you when I went ice skating for the first time in Russia, I cracked my hip. So yeah, hip bone. Intestine, which I crossed out, you don't really need to know that. It's part of your like internal organs, and that's a whole different level of vocabulary. And I don't want to overload you with too much stuff, so it's not really relevant. Jaw.
I don't know.
Okay, it's part of your head. So here you have your head, and your jaw is this part here, the whole section. This is your chin, but this whole section that moves is called a jaw. See? Yeah. So you could break this off. Break off my jaw. So not really relevant, but if you're on the phone, yeah, I banged my jaw. I fell over and I banged my jaw, or broke my jaw or whatever. Kidney, that's another organ. That's not really relevant or important, and that's more complex. So we'll skip that. But do you know kidney? It doesn't matter, like I said, it's just it's organs. That's more complex stuff. So basically, a kidney is an organ in your belly, and it acts as a filter. It filters all the badness from your water. So
yes.
yeah. So knee, you should know that.
Yes, it's this.
Yeah. Like your elbow, but on your leg, basically the opposite. Knee and elbow. My God, you must know that. Lips. All goes, no lips are. Lips. Lung. You don't know lung?
No.
Okay. Yeah, lung. This is another organ, but it's an organ you do need to learn, like heart. Your heart is what pumps your blood. Your lungs, you have two of them. That's what allows you to breathe. Your lungs, they go. See?
Yes.
So yeah, when you're reading stuff like, it's not important, but yeah, like, I don't know, when somebody's in a fire, they breathe lots of smoke into their lungs, you see? So it's a much more common organ used, but kidney and intestine are not used, for example. So yeah, lungs. Muscle. We know we've done it already. We have hundreds of muscles in our body. Nail. You should know nails. Duh, yes, I have beautiful nails. Rib.
I don't know.
Okay, this is another bone, like hip. And your rib is basically these bones here.
Mhm.
So you have lots of them. They protect your organs. This is called a rib cage. Because it's like a cage, like an animal, but it's caging your lungs and your heart and your organs. So yeah, not terribly important, but yeah, very often people will slip and break a rib or crack a rib. So, and you can even, when you go to a restaurant and you eat beef, you can buy rib bone, which means you get the different parts of the meat. In this case, you get ribs. And it's very tasty, by the way. Scalp. Scalp.
No, I don't know.
Scalp is basically this part here, the skin on your head, where your hair joins to your head. It's called a scalp. It's not really important to learn this word. It's not really used. Many years ago, it was that Indians used to cut the scalp off people, but now you don't need to know it. You probably never use it in your life, so you certainly don't go to the doctor and say my scalp hurts. So yeah, forget it. Shin. Oh, ouch. Shin. Right, we're running out of time, so we're going to do this very quickly. Do you know shin?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Shin is the front part of your leg.
Mhm.
Front part, opposite to the calf. So you have things called shin pads, which protect you in football. Shoulder.
This part.
Everybody knows, yep, shoulder. Skin. Yeah, you know that. Skull. This is a more common, it is another bone, but it's more commonly used. Skull, like it's a bone in your head. It's called your head bone is called skull. So that word is used a massive amount from pictures, depicting things, movies. So yeah, spine.
It's
Yeah, it's a thing that joins your head to your base and all your ribs together. Your spine is very, very important. All your nerves go down your spine. So, and it's very important. And it's even termed like used like someone is a spineless git. Basically, they have no spine, like not literally, they have no guts. Stomach.
yes, I know.
Stomach, where your food goes. Thigh. That's the where your hip is. The fat that sits around the thighs. That fatty bit you have. Women have big thighs because they have babies, for example. So that's not a medical word, but it's useful to learn. Throat.
Yeah, I know.
Throat.
Yes.
Thumb. You don't know thumb? Fingers, thumbs. Toe.
No.
You don't know that either? Not surprising. You know the other words. Toes is basically these on your feet. So toes. See? Fingers, thumbs, and toes. Waist.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, like you measure your waist for your new pair of jeans. And wrist.
This
Yeah, opposite. Yeah, like ankle, but for your hand. So yeah, that's all the basic body parts. So there's a song to remember if you get stuck. Just remember head, shoulders, knees and toes, and eyes and ears and mouth and nose. Teach that to kids. You want to learn to teach kids body language. Head, shoulders, knees and toes. So yeah, so it's not finished. But that's all some basics in like body parts, which is important to learn, and basic medical, like, cuts, bruises, black eyes. It's should be all you basically need. So from watching a film to reading a book, or when you travel and you hurt yourself and the doctor asks you, where does it hurt? I don't know. So yeah, try it. There's a lot of words here. I do apologize, but try to remember and learn this stuff.
Yeah. Somebody has to learn them this weekend. Yes, Lisa.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I'm not going to pressure you, but it's one of those things, like you said, it's not massively important, but when you need it, you need it. So it's definitely, body parts is definitely useful to learn. So from, like I say, reading specifically or watching a film. Yeah. So translate them, see the grammar, do what Russians do to learn. I don't know. Okay.
Yep. Thank you, guys. You had a really interesting discussion. I was watching you, listening to you while drinking my tea. Okay, so see you next Sunday. Bye-bye.
No worries. Oh, bye-bye.
Bye.
Have fun. Have a nice week.